Today we're going to be taking a hike on Laurel View Trail. Laurel Hill Trail is a loop trail just next to the old shale pit here in Ricketts Glen State Park. It's just about a little over a mile to hike the loop. Along the way, it's supposed to be a good place to see the mountain laurels this time of year. And there is also an old fire tower that we'll see along the way. So we've just gotten out from the shale pit parking and have come into the Laurel View Trail. You can go north on the loop or south on the loop. We're going to head north. It's a misty, rainy day. It's calling for off and on showers throughout the day. It's drizzling and hazy now, and I expect it to be that way for the whole walk. That was a state park truck passing by. Here we're still close to the road. You can hear the traffic. So we're right along 487. So here we have the option to go to Old Beaver Dam Road or to go down the Laurel View Trail. So I'm going down Laurel View Trail. The mountain laurel blooms begin in mid-June, and once they're out, they're quite stunning. You have all these white flowered bushes around you while you're walking through the forest. On this trail, there's mountain laurel everywhere. So you're hearing chestnut-sided warblers here. It sounds like there's one on each side of the trail here, and that they're calling back and forth to each other. So there's the one to my right, and that's the one to my left. So we've just entered a little wooded grove here, some pine woods, and I was able to hear a hooded warbler. You can still hear it now. Here we're passing through a field of hay-scented fern. That was just the loud call of an ovenbird. It's a common call that you'll hear in these parts. and there it is again. I'm here at a trail juncture. I can continue south down Laurel View Trail, or I could go down this unmarked trail, which according to the map seems to dead end in a marsh or swamp area. So maybe I'll go check that out. So I've taken this unmarked path. It's very different than the Laurel View Trail. There's no mountain laurel at all. So yeah, I've made it to the end of the marked trail on the map, but the trail continues, and I don't have a plan to go out that far. I don't know where it goes, so I'm just going to turn back here. I just want to visit the Laurel View Trail before it starts to rain, and it does look like it's threatening rain pretty soon. So we're going to turn back, and this trail is definitely has a wild feel to it. We're getting out, I think, into the game lands, and I think there's a lot of neat stuff out here. This will have to be an adventure for some other time. All right, we've made it back to the trail juncture, so I'm back on Laurel View Trail after taking that side trail which went deeper into the forest. So from here I'm going to continue south around the loop of Laurel View. So after that side trail, we're back on Laurel View Trail and amongst the mountain laurel again. Now there is some confusion on the naming of this trail. On some maps it's called the Grandview Trail, but on the park map it's called Laurel View Trail, as well as on the park signs. If there is any confusion, it certainly has a lot of Laurel View, but there aren't any grand or spectacular views on this trail. Perhaps when the fire tower was open, people could come here and have a grand view of the park. And so maybe that's where the name Grand View Trail comes from. Today is pretty humid and muggy, so although it's not really that hot, it is quite steamy. I guess you can see my glasses are fogged up, and so it's almost like being in the rainforest, although the temperature is not quite as hot. So we've made it here to the old fire tower. And so this is it here behind me, right here. At this site, it's marked at being 2,444 feet above sea level. We can hear in the background one of my least favorite noises in the forest, and that's the sound of chainsaws. So there is some lumbering going on. Not far from here, you can see an area that's been heavily lumbered. That is part of the forest management, timbering some areas and protecting other areas. And where they are doing the timbering down the road, they are leaving the big trees there, and so they're not clearing out everything. So yeah, the Grand View Fire Tower here was originally built back in the 1940s out of wood. And then in the 60s, it was rebuilt in its form today, which is made out of steel. The tower is still in use by the Park Service today, and it's one of the few remaining park fire towers in Pennsylvania. I think there's about 67 or so is what I've read, and about 27 of those are still in use. So yeah, that's the Grand View Fire Tower here along Laurel View Trail. So yeah, that was definitely neat to see the fire tower. Boy, I wish I could get up on top of that. That would be so cool to look out from. All right, so we had a nice walk here at Laurel View Trail here at Ricketts Glen State Park. We got to see some interesting things and definitely saw a whole lot of mountain laurel, which was really amazing to see. The fire tower also was pretty spectacular, although a little disappointing that we can't go up there. Thanks a lot for joining me, and I'll see you next time.